Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Stormworks Build and Rescue. So the last video I put out there was just a test. What I'm trying to do is I'm noticing that when you're indoors and you're in the workbench and you take damage and the CO2 and all those things, remember when you're inside and you don't have air, you suffocate? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out a system that'll balance, I guess, that will allow us to be inside and not suffocate, right? So, like I said, I reported on the issue when it first came out. So far, I haven't seen any real changes on it. But currently, the only way to get fresh, like to properly balance, you have to open the door, open a window, right? You have to have a direct connection between where you are and the outside in order for it to be balanced. So what I did here, we're just waiting for it to spawn in. When it spawns in, I'll be inside a little box. It took forever with the filters and that. I have two pumps going, and what I was trying to do is I was trying to pump in air and suck out air of the chamber and see if that system would balance, right? And as you saw in the previous video, it's basically impossible to get it to balance, right? It was always within a couple of numbers, but it never did. So then what I have here is I have a barometer on the inside, and I have a barometer on the outside where, well, outside dial. I have a barometer somewhere on the outside. So the outside pressure is 0.99, and the inside pressure is 0.57. The internal CO2 is at 13. The oxygen appears to be stable. So yeah, so I'm just looking at the numbers. I think I finally got it. Like as you can see, it's still not completely balanced, right? It's taking a long time to get there. My only issue is with the pressures. So I'm going to open the door. I want to see if it balances first, and then I'm going to open the door. I mean, obviously, air should rush in, right? There's a far lower air pressure inside here than there is outside. That'll refill the CO2 meter. Yeah, I was just kind of thinking, like, if I was in space, for example, it's the barometer that we need to use to equalize the pressure. Like if you made a, I don't know what you call it, an airlock. We need the barometer for the airlock, right? So I guess that's kind of what I was testing. Yeah, so it looks like this is where it wants to rest. I've got the filters on, and this is where it's slowing. It's just slowing right down to a crawl, but it's still not balanced, right? So we've got. I guess it's better than it is. Yeah, so I've just been doing some testing. I didn't add any commentary to the last video, so I'll put this video up with a little bit of commentary, just kind of explaining sort of what I've done. Right, I have a microcontroller just for the meter, so I can measure the raw CO2, which is inside. I was hoping to balance it with, or find the limit. Right? What's the CO2 limit that suffocates us? What's the low limit and what's the upper limit? But it seems with this system, you'll never reach that upper limit, and it's still dropping down, right? It seems like we're reasonably balanced now, but the chamber obviously is losing gas, right? Yeah, this was going back to my old builds there, where in every single one of my builds, they're airtight to prevent from the waves and stuff, right? So I suppose, and all I'm trying to do is find a way to create a system that will allow us to like neutralize the air and maybe neutralize the pressure. But I don't think we're going to be able to neutralize the pressure. But I don't know, right? I have to wait for the air to neutralize. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about here. So we're getting close. It's a lot better than it was. So it looks like the low level of about 13 seems to be pretty steady. Yeah, 27 and 35. It'd be nice if I can get those two numbers to equalize. And yeah, I don't know. It seemed like when the pressures were equal, the exhaust port was exhausting double the amount of air. And now that the system is balanced, it seems like the internal air pressure has to be half of what the outside air pressure is in order for it to be balanced. Maybe that's accurate. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not a. I'll have to read a book about this or something just to see how air pressure works. Right, so it seems like that's all we'll need to do is we'll need to have two pumps. One pump pumping in air, one pump pumping out air, and I have them connected to the filters. So that way, let's say this falls into the water, it's not suddenly going to suck in water and flood the place. So I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And it seems like the CO2 is being reasonably balanced inside. It seems like the gas levels are starting to stabilize. Yeah, I think I found it. The only thing is the pressures. So why does this matter? Well, it only really matters if you go to space, right? Where there's no air pressure and there's air pressure inside. And you're going to want to balance this with the outside air pressure. But I also want to check to see if I can open the door, if it's going to suck me out or not. It should suck me right outside. Which, I don't know. All right, so it appears like we're balanced. I don't think this is going to get any lower. This is as good as it gets. So this is our in port. This is sucking air in, and this is sucking air out. And that's where it is. So it seems like CO2 is... yeah, 13.43. Seems to be our number. It's been stable there for a while. So that's okay. That's safe. You're not going to suffocate. The oxygen levels, well, they seem to be going up a little bit now. And of course, the gas level, obviously, we're still slowly losing gas. It seems to be balancing, trying to balance a little bit there. Yeah. All right, so that will work. So in this type of system, you could be, I don't know, way high up in the air, maybe. I'll have to check to see how that pressure will work. You could be inside your boat with the door closed with this system, and you're not going to suffocate inside your boat. Excellent. That's pretty much what I wanted to try and discover, if there was a way that I could do that. Now we're going to open the door. Are you ready? Oh, perfect. Perfect. I know it's really slow and laggy. I have a new GPU showing up here in a couple of weeks, and then, so that you can see that there. So it's exhausting. You know, I don't understand why air is going out faster than air is going in. That obviously has to do with pressure. As the air pressure. Oh, actually, this is kind of nice. Yeah, that's actually kind of perfect. it'll balance. It'll come down and it'll slowly balance. So we're not going to run out of, that was the thing, we're not going to run out of fluid capacity or out of gas, and we're not going to be over pressurizing ourselves, which was also my worry, was that, you know, when you pump in air, you're adding pressure, right? But in this case, it's the opposite. We're actually lowering the pressure quite a bit inside here. Yeah. Cool. So now I want to see if how much kind of damage I take here when yeah, it's still kind of giving me, I don't know why, it's still kind of giving me that pressure. But anyway, so this is what I have set up here. We just have a couple of pumps. They've got the filters on them, gas filters, so they don't suck in water. And then just a couple of dials. I have a barometer on the outside, and I have a barometer on the inside, so that way I can tell what the pressures are. Okay, so it does eventually balance. So that's a setup you're going to want to have on your ships. I don't know how it's going to work with underwater, like with the submarine. That's what I'm going to discover now. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll just post a small little video with the results there. Yeah, so that's it. That's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.